Yeah, morning everybody. You're welcome to Daily Digest with Jimi Disu, brought to you by MTN. And of course, you know the station you're listening to is Nigeria Info 99.3. Right, today is Thursday. Yesterday we had Diabumi, we had a rollicking time. Today we're going to look at a few more serious issues. But I don't have a guest in-house deliberately so that I can take more of your views. We're going to concentrate a lot today on COVID, inevitably, because that is, that is what is on the rampage right now as we speak. I think this year now I can easily say I've lost close to between 10 and 15 friends so far. And that's probably those that I know. There's some. Yesterday I heard that Bolu Akioluwade also passed away. And may his soul rest in peace. He was known as the lover of Rolls-Royce cars, And it wasn't until yesterday that I discovered that apparently I think I went to primary school with him. And we probably left at about the same time. And, and we're both in Corona Yaba way back then in the 60s. And may his soul rest in peace. Also, maybe I should just take that commercial now, Abby. Your finger hasn't gone up. I'm free to go. Right. Also, yesterday we lost a very, very close colleague and friend. And yesterday when I was talking about how we started the Vanguard, about 6, 7 of us, I didn't know that one of the beautiful 7 was passing away just about that moment. Deye Roluga. Roluga used to be the advert manager, as a pioneer advert manager of Vanguard way back then in 1984. Okay, I was the business editor. And you believe it or not, it was Ruluga that introduced me to my wife, the mother of my children. And so we're quite a close family between me, himself, his wife, and my wife then, way back then. And so it's sad to see him go. The what happens these days until COVID set in again is that those of us who went to the school, to the Samamoka School or Media School, always like to eat yam and egg on occasional Tuesdays, and those were the places where I was always looking forward to seeing your Roluga, and I used to call him my Lord the Chief Justice. He had this carriage way back then. He had this carriage about him, and he looked, more like a judge, lawyer, or something like that. And I used to tease him about that. Then I suddenly discovered that Ruluga started calling me my Lord. He was that kind of person. And I remember Ruluga. Ruluga was a devoted GCI ex-student. Devoted. GCI students generally, they're very, very devoted. There was, of course, the latter ones that I also know, J.J. Moto Imbo. I don't know if she also went to GCI. I can't remember. But they're very proud people, GCI. And I remember one of them telling me that if you find anybody who says he went to GCI, ask him for his school number. That is what is going to, dabaru the whole arrangement for the person. So when this GCI matter came up with somebody, I won't mention his name, I kept teasing Roluga that, could this guy have been your class? I kept teasing Roluga that, Rolu. I said, this is your classmate now. Wow. Ask him you get to there, ask him his school number. Ask him his school number. Well, he lived well. He died at the age of 70 plus. 70 plus in the sense that he didn't hit 71. My condolences go to, to all his friends, Eric Teniola, Mayowa Adetiba, all of us old school, Uncle Sam, Miss Bomisho for Ladia Bumi, all of us were one big gang. And also my condolences go to the Amala group. There's this group that meets in Auntie Bumi's house once a month to eat Amala and Begiri and all kinds of things. But COVID has dabarut the whole arrangement there. But my condolences to them. When Roluga was employed in Vanguard way back then, 84, he had a deputy, Agnes Asamobo. And Agnes has a double whammy to handle now because she too lost her husband to the same COVID, I think, just about a few days ago. I think I called her on Monday And so my condolences go to her. You know, she lost her former boss and friend, and also lost her husband. May the soul of all the departed rest in peace. It's a big shock for those of us in that family. And like Jebumi said yesterday, Kilo Shele, Kilo De, Emagbawa. I think why I've gone to the extent of making this topic is just to let you know that COVID is real. COVID is real. I have lost friends, classmates, name it. COVID is real. That is number one. Number two, I do not have any iota of hope in what the federal government of Nigeria, the arrangements they are making for COVID. I do not have hope in it. I do not understand it. I cannot rationalize it. So what that tells me is that I'm on my own. I am on my own. I am on my own. I must give some credit to the Lagos state government, to be honest. They've been up and doing. It's not enough, but given the circumstances that we're in, they're like superstars. You know, especially the Commissioner for Health. But I think that something tells me, I was joking with Sheriff, something tells me that he's found himself in between all kinds of political considerations and has therefore taken a back seat, but he's still working. Because I heard that on, was it New Year's Day, he was crisscrossing the Lagos metropolis, trying to shut down places that were completely overcrowded. That's where we are today, and that's why we are going to be discussing the issue of COVID. Let me also quickly announce to everybody, my good old friend Bisola Tilo is alive. Okay, it was as if I was hit by a sledgehammer yesterday when I got a notice that he had passed on. But I was so happy and pleased when I got another notice 30 minutes later that, he was alive. I'd like again to plead to people. I need to plead about certain things. There's some etiquette about deaths of people. The first one, of course, is before you pass information on, be almost sure. This urge to be a journalist by force, it doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do you any good. That is number one. Number two, there is what will now have to develop the ethics of COVID deaths. What do I mean by that? I belong to one or two groups, and I've seen people write in those groups saying something like, so and so caught COVID because he was a chairman at a wedding. That's imbecility. That is lack of deep thought. It's nonsensical. It's very annoying. It's casting as people for things they might not be. Nobody on the face of the earth, for fact, where he or she you can suspect got COVID. But you would say definitely where you come. Do you know why? The simplest. From your doorknob, right from your doorknob, a person said to you go buy something you want to pay with. What do you call it? The POS. Would call it anywhere. And I suspect, to the best of my knowledge, that they have 5 gestation period within which it is most impossible. Stop maligning people. Let's stop second guessing where we got it from. A friend of mine lost his wife, and he was said, she went to an old girls party. That's where she caught COVID. Full-grown adults are saying that, putting this information up in groups. It turns out that they say, she went to Abeokuta, and that's why the woman hasn't been to Abeokuta for the past 2 years. What is so important about where anybody caught what? What we do with this knowledge is you hear that somebody passed away. Of course, you sympathize with them. And then you learn a lesson from there to be extremely careful. Extremely. But to start saying that, it was... in the case of this woman, some people even put up some video. And it's very unfortunate to the memory of the dead. And very unfortunate, you're casting aspersions to the memory of the dead and casting aspersions on the living. And making it look as if they died an irresponsible death. I think we do need to be careful. All of us get excited about this thing called a smartphone. And everybody wants to, if you want to be a journalist, go for proper training. When I sometimes say that the social media has to be controlled, which is a subject I intend to broach on Saturday on the discourse at 8 o'clock to talk about the danger. Look at what the social media has done to America now. We just lack that discipline, lack the ethics, the empathy. We are always so excited. Oh, he caught COVID when he went to be chairman. How do you know? How do you know? Think about the couple who got married. Think about their family. Let's be very, very careful before we pass judgment on things that don't even concern us or has no bearing on us directly or indirectly. I'd like to plead with everybody. I'd like to plead. Stop this you know, if you hear that somebody is dead, sympathize with them. If you don't want to sympathize with them, mind your own business. But to start saying that, oh, yeah, they caught COVID at so and so place when he visited Jimi Disu and Jimi Disu shook him, that's when he must have caught it. Very sad. May the soul of the departed rest in peace. Let's pray for Bisi Olatilo. I hear he's under the weather. We are not even sure whether it's COVID that he has, because everybody who is flat on the ground now is a COVID suspect. But he's alive and well, and I will see if we can put a call through to him tomorrow. I'd like to see, so that it can put the mind of a lot of his friends and associates. It can put their mind on there. So Bisi, hang in there, okay? We'll try and see if we can call you tomorrow. Now, what we have in the newspapers for today is almost has a direct bearing on what I spoke about 2 days ago. I think it was on Tuesday when I advocated that the government should please just license these, these vaccines, those that can be licensed, and let's move on so that people can make separate arrangements. Because there's so much argument going on about the so-called 100,000 vaccines that the government says, federal government says is going to make available. In Kano, 3,557. In Lagos, 3,131. In Jigawa, 1,007, and so on and so forth. Very embarrassing. Nobody else must say that. I'm speaking directly, translating directly from Yoruba to English. Nobody else must hear this. These are the things we should be speaking about in hot stones. Very embarrassing thing. This is like being caught going to the toilet and coming back and forgetting to use the toilet paper in this. It's very bad, very embarrassing. And I would have thought that even if you then found yourself with some donation of 100,000 vaccines, shouldn't it be going to the frontline workers? Shouldn't you be thinking of how you are going to go and vaccinate all the workers who run the various isolation centers, the doctors, the nurses, the cleaners, who daily put their lives on the line to provide succor to those who have? We didn't think of that. All kinds of things are going on. Some commissioner is even saying that the Benue State commissioner said, oh, we've not been told. It wasn't even discussed at the governors forum. Excuse me. So at the governors forum, you put distribution of 100,000 vaccines nationwide. You discuss that at governors forum. And some states are fighting over, we do not have the allocation. They're only giving us this and giving us that. Of course, the allocation now is lopsided. Bayelsa is supposed to get 589. Nasarawa 661. The funny thing about some of these numbers is if you decided to vaccinate everybody in the front line who work directly in the isolation centers, it still won't go around. But I can jolly well imagine if 3,001 to 1 gets to us. The first, is headed. That will give Baba some extra tillage in case the first they will give Baba extra ones. They let him keep it in the freezer in case the first shot doesn't work. Because that's the way we think. That's the way we think. You know? But I am also glad to inform you Tuesday, we now see in today's Thursday, Oyo State plan to purchase the vaccine. I'm so happy they plan to purchase the vaccine. And so we are going to step up our appeal. And the appeal, and the government doesn't heed that. We should apply all known pressure without violence to get them to approve this vaccine so that those who have the access to it can go get it. Let us even knock out the numbers bit by bit. I know you will probably say, what then happens to the rest? Look, there is even the government one that they're talking about, they're saying that it's only by 2022 they would have gone 40%. But imagine this, imagine if all the corporations, for example, all the corporations and private companies were able to have access and do it for their staff and family and so on and so forth. If anything at all, it will bring down the numbers. it will bring down any effort that will bring down the numbers, no matter how small. I think we should encourage. So we plead again with the federal. We plead to their conscience, really, because they know what should be done. I refuse to believe that our leaders don't know what should be done, but they're usually overcome by their own attitude. First of all, to show that, oh yes, we are the only ones who can have this vaccine. There was a former minister who said that telephone is not for the poor. He's eating his words now. But Nigerians like this attitude of we are the only ones who can, we are the only ones who have the vaccine, boast about it. If they could sew it on their t-shirt or put it in their number plate, they'd be happy. By the way, I have a message for Commissioner of Police, Mr. Odumosu. I still saw some vehicles yesterday, about 4 or 5, in Oniru and VI environs there, without number. No, not without plate numbers, but with the plate number covered. You see, it's one thing to have a car without a number. Maybe it's not yet registered. But this one, after you have gotten the number, you now cover it. There's obviously something wrong with us. I don't want to go that route. So, for those who are in Lagos, what should you do? My guess is this, and my hint is this. Go and get a LASRA registration. Somebody said this morning that what I said was insane. I'm sure he didn't know the meaning of what he was saying. He just heard it in one movie, maybe one Rambo 3 movie, and said, let me use it. Let me use it to frighten this man. He said what I said was insane. Because if you say somebody says something that is insane, it means that he himself, he heard not correct. That's why he said that I'm insane. But I'm saying that the state government can only provide for the people that he knows. And the only way for the state to know that you exist is through LASRA. So until the vaccines come and you now start running helter-skelter, don't go yet. Listen to this program to the end. Immediately after this program, go to wherever it is that you register and go and register your name, because something tells me that is what might be used. This LASRA was used during the palliative whatever it is. And I remember, Philip, I'm sure you remember that guy I nicknamed Palliative. He got up to 10. I've forgotten his name, but that was when I was in the other side of town. He got up to 10 through LASRA. So go and register with LASRA so that the state knows that you exist. That is when you will have an argument when the vaccines do come. But Ruth, I'm going to ask you to let me have a small chopping knife. The one they use to cut okporoko to cut this finger. I got to take a short break. My guy here has said I have to take a break. When I come back, we'll open up the lines. 0700 993 993 993. Okay, and then we'll take some of your tweets at Nigeria Info FM. Okay, and tag along at Jimi Disu. It's the Daily Digest with Jimi Disu, brought to you by MTN. And we'll take a short break and then we'll be right back.
Hello! This na public announcement to our dear customer dem. As NCC don talk MTN go start to link your national identification number NIN to the information wey you provide during your SIM registration to help join your NIN number to your MTN number. You fit do am through 2 easy ways. Make you log on to my MTN app or dial *785*NIN#. If you not get national identification number, make you visit this website www.nimc.gov.ng to find the nearest registration center where they near you. If you don't register for NIN before but forget the NIN number, dial *346# with the phone number where you take register for NIN. We no one disconnect you. Thank you for your patience and cooperation.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Yellow. This is a public service announcement to our dear customers. As mandated by the NCC, MTN will be linking your national identification number NIN to the SIM registration information you have already provided. To make the process easy for you, here are simple 2 ways to get it done. 1. Log on to my MTN app. Or 2. Dial *785*NIN#. If you don't have a NIN, visit www.nimc.gov.ng to find an enrollment center near you. If you have registered but can't remember your NIN, dial *346# with the phone number you registered at enrollment. We do not want you to get disconnected. Thank you for your patience and anticipated cooperation.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
You're listening to Jimi Disu right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Right, you're welcome back to Daily Digest with Jimi Disu. And I have a caller there. Let's take a call. Hello, good morning. Hello? Hello, morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Morning.
Yes, Adebami is my name.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I really appreciate your inputs towards,
Yes.
growth of this nation.
Mm-hmm.
With respect to providing, information that even those at the grassroots, they
Yes.
need to see that there's hope in the country. God will continue to help you, sir.
Amen.
Yes, sir. I constantly listen to you and other programs on this platform. But specifically, you are telling us on how to be able to benefit residents in Lagos, be able to benefit from the vaccination through last trial registration, which is limited to Lagos State.
Yes.
I believe your presentation is for everybody, all Nigerian citizens to benefit from.
Yes.
But you remember there are other states,
Yes.
other 35 states, including the FCT. They don't have provision like LASTRA or something like registration of their residents in each state. I think using this LASTRA is only limiting your presentation to Lagos alone.
Okay, thank
So
you.
what of how do other
thank you.
residents, other states benefit from this?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Now, if you listened carefully, I made this in reference to the fact that the Lagos state government has said that it plans to purchase these vaccines. And I said that since they have said so, you better get ready. I did not say that the Lagos state government says it will use LASTRA. I said, but it would help for you to be ready in case that is what will be used, so you don't find yourself running helter-skelter at that time or anybody holding you to blackmail. Okay, so I'd like us to get these things. I understand what you're saying, but I said this in relation to Lagos State saying they would buy these vaccines. Lagos State cannot buy vaccines for the whole country. And I am sure that Lagos State would not want a situation where if it has now bought the vaccines, there'll be a mad rush from all the other states of the Federation to come to Lagos to get vaccinated. So, and then you cannot provide for people you don't know. And one of the ways by which the state government would know its citizens, the way I looked about it, is of course with the LASTRA card. I mean, you know your civil servants. You might say, okay, some schools, yes. You might know the universities, some corporations, yes. But for the ordinary citizen, the man selling bread, the man whatever, the only way the state would know that such a person exists is through LASTRA. And in any case, I think it was incumbent on us from the onset to register with LASTRA because they need numbers for planning. You can't, I don't know how we've been doing it. You do everything. It's like you want to have a party. You don't know the number of people you want to provide jollof rice, fried rice, turkey, and all these things. So that's turkey. You know, you need numbers. So Lagos State needs numbers, and I am sure that most likely, the LASTRA would be the one that will take care of the masses generally, the downfall drivers, the hawkers, the name it. Or else, and then people should also understand that I've been advised that this vaccination is not something that's going to be done in motor park. No, it's not going to be done in that way. It's not something that's going to be put in an envelope for you to go and mix with agbo at home or something like that. It's done under some kind of special, I've even told that it must be a certain temperature. I don't know the full details. In fact, now is probably the time for me to get somebody to come and talk to us about how vaccines actually work. I think I need to set that out and see if I can get somebody maybe on Tuesday to actually tell us what vaccines are and how they work. Like I said earlier on, the federal government is not serious. They're showing absolutely no seriousness. Yesterday we heard, oh, the money for the vaccines is not in the budget. How can you be hearing that at this point in time when we knew all along we were going to be, And how come you can't tidy that up in a day or two? The response has been dismal. A lot of greed on the part of our leaders. A lot of greed, bad attitude, And so that like I said, sir, that information was just for Lagos, because Lagos State and Oyo State too said that they plan to purchase the vaccine. I don't know if they have anything. Well, they won't have Lassa in Oyo. They might have something else under that same whatever it is. But let's all just be prepared. It is important for us to get vaccinated. That is the only thing that I know of as we speak that can provide comfort. It is the only thing that can provide comfort. Every day you go out, even if you lock yourself up in your house, the minute you step out, you're at the risk of catching this virus. So we all need to be very careful. And I think that vaccination will be one of the things that would actually help us. Now, let's take the experience of how it's working in other countries. One of the countries that I know. In the United Kingdom, for example, letters have gone out to everybody, again through a registered process. The United Kingdom virtually knows the large percentage of its population that it has to statutorily cater for. So letters have gone out. Not texts, not SMS, letters have gone out from the GP's office. You would have a GP, like your own. Everybody has a GP, most likely in his own neighborhood. That is when you get referred that you go to the larger hospitals. You're encouraged to use the GP. So your GP's office will send a letter to you. Okay, there was also an SMS. Sorry, there's also an SMS. And it says that, you can book on the day you want to come, meaning that if you wanted to get vaccinated on Monday, if it's your turn, then you call into your GP's office and say that, can I come in today? They say, no, why don't you call again on Wednesday? When you call on Wednesday, okay, you can come in at 2 o'clock. You go in and it's over and done with. That's why I thought of this last thing. So everything is not seamless, though. In fact, the irony is that there seems to be a lot of apathy. People are reluctant. Those ones that don't spoil small. Government don't spoil them. They even went to. There were some demonstrators who told the government where to put some unpleasant place to put the vaccine. But the opportunity is there, and 60-something years after independence, I don't think we've learnt much. Our big people now, I'm sure all flights to Dubai are fully booked. Heaven help us all. So that's Cross River is complaining the allocation is not enough. Omotosho says that Lagos to get COVID vaccine. Okay, and he told the point that the state was surprised at seeing the allocation to different states. It caught them by surprise, like it caught us. Nobody consulted them. He says, Omotosho says that nobody has involved us in what the national vaccine strategy would be. So all these are new to us. And he says, we have not heard anything from the federal government. There has been no directive, but whatever they give us, we will take. You can, from that sentence, whatever they give us, we will take. You will see that he has submitted himself to the Almighty, the fate of the Almighty. No matter how strong, we'll just take it. But he says, we are also working on getting our own independently. Okay, because why? He said, because no matter what happens, the safety of Lagosians is our priority. Whatever it will take, let me translate that to Yoruba. Whatever it will take, the government will ensure that when the vaccine arrives, Lagosians are not left out. Okay, and of course, it was the Benue commissioner who said that it was not discussed at the Governor's Forum. Let me have one or two more calls. Hello, morning. Hello.
Hello?
Hello, morning, ma.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Yes, ma.
This is Pastor Ladipo.
Pastor, sorry. It's because I've been on vacation. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes, sir, Pastor. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. By God's grace, I'm going to go for this last trial, which I strongly believe in.
Yes.
But Uncle Jimmy, I want to ask a question. This thing now, is it not good we develop an homegrown solution to this problem? Given the fact that our situation is peculiar to us, as regards the ones in the foreign country, that is just my own assertion. No. But I still believe we can go for the last trial, which is very good. Believe if they bring the vaccine and they are going to make it available, we will take it.
Okay.
So that is just my take.
Okay.
Thank you, and God
Thank
bless
you.
Nigeria.
Yeah, I mean your take is valid, but we don't have the capacity for any homegrown thingy. We don't. Don't let's kid ourselves. We don't. All our research centers are moribund. All the money allocated for research and whatever, it don't enter ground. It's a wallet. So we are paying dearly for our bad habits. We don't have any homegrown whatever. The best that we have is all these, things that are being put together, lemongrass, this and that. Fine. No research, nothing. You want us to develop our own vaccine? In a country where it was rumored once that the meat pie that they sell in Orile, that the meat inside was something like that. I don't know if you ever heard that. They said there was somewhere in the Kokomako they were doing meat pies instead of putting cow meat or whatever. Don't spoil your face now, it's what I was told. By the way, we're on Facebook Live and we're on YouTube, so you can actually see Ruth's face, what is left of it, because all of us look like masquerades now, with these masks and so on and so forth. It's very uncomfortable wearing this mask, but I can tell you it will save a lot of lives. So please, let us always try to mask up. I don't want to die yet. Life is too sweet. Even with all the wahala of Nigeria, life is still sweet. Another issue has come up under this COVID scenario, and that is that of whether schools should reopen. And I'd like to know what your feelings are. You see, there are pros and cons to this issue, and I think the onus now lies with the individual. Whether you, as a parent, would allow your child to take a risk in the name of education, take a risk and go to school under this dispensation. Like I said this morning, a year of school is not going to kill any child. I lost 4 years before I graduated, and I was still able to play catch-up. So it's not a death sentence. What is a death sentence, God forbid, is if that child dies. But I think it's because stakeholders are saying that they are backing the reopening of schools. They are businessmen. And businessmen are capitalists. Capitalists don't think human. They think money. And there's a lawyer, Chief Afe Babalola, highly respected senior advocate. He says that that the closure of the universities themselves was unconstitutional. Well, I can't. How can you have an argument? I haven't even been to year one in law school, talk less of arguing with the big masters. He might jolly well be right. In fact, I'm sure he's right. He knows what he's talking about. But the truth is, I'm not thinking constitution now. If I had the child who is in school, I'm thinking of the life of the child. So I'd like to know what you think. Ruth, let's pick that call. I'd like to know what you think, whether you think you'll be disposed to letting your child go to school now. Yes, this must be Solomon.
Good morning.
Oh, Lord, Happy New Year, Solomon. Happy
Compliment
New Year.
of the season.
Same to you.
Now I know that Iboroni Baba. So how do you know the meat pie they sell in Odile?
Wale kote ni mbembe.
Uncle Jimmy, on the vaccine, did I hear you sell Cross River complaint? Is it the same state who does not even believe that there's something that they call COVID-19? So what are they complaining for? What are they complaining for? And for the private schools, look, I've said it. My wife is in private schools. Uncle Jimmy, for that 6 months, they did not pay them dime, as in single kobo. Now, to even make the matter worse, do you know that federal government give palliative private schools? Some schools give it to their staff. Some want German new.
Translate.
So what are they chop the money?
They hit it to the ground.
Waiting. Their staff know if they don't even get shishi. They collect that money. So what are we saying? So look, if the school are going to be locked 6 months, so be it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I also have a message here from my good friend Fifi, who says that why is Cross River complaining about the allocation of vaccines? The government claimed they don't have COVID-19. The same with Kogi. Then there's something she writes here I can't excuse me, I can't read on radio. Another caller, please. Excuse me. Hey, Kevin.
Jimmy.
Anna.
To God be the glory.
Yeah.
I must pay tribute to those that have passed on. Also to the former Lagos State military administrators, Dubise Kanu.
Yes.
I pay tribute to him. When I remember military men that have affected me positively in this world, I remember the Thomas Sankaras, the Jelly Lawrence, and the Fidel Castros of this world. Dubise Kanu comes among. And Alice Umaduke. I'd never even think of him to be a former military administrator. I always knew him to be activist. He was a military man. He still fought against democracy. He still fought against the military dictatorship. I pay tribute to him. May God bless his soul.
Amen.
Having said that, whether the vaccine comes or it does not come, you see where me I'm focusing my attention to is to be safe. That is the number one priority for me, to keep safe. A lot of people are still being irresponsible about this COVID issue. I was shocked when somebody was calling me to ask me if I was in the club. How can I be in the club? Even before all this time, I've never been a club man. Now, all I do is when I go to the show and I come home.
You don't go to strip. You don't go to strip club.
God forbid.
Calm down. I just asked a simple question.
No, when the person called me and said, "Are you in the club?" The person was irritating to me. I've never been a club man. When I go and stay in a small place, you put music that will be disturbing your eardrums. My life I've been a shrine man. I'm not a club man.
Yeah.
But some people have become very responsible in all these things we are saying. And they are still going about clubbing. So for me, safety is key. Vaccine or no vaccine, or get vaccinated or no vaccinated, or to keep safe should be the key for everybody. And it also talks about the issue of the school. I will not allow my children to go to any school for now.
Yeah.
After all, during the revolution in Cuba, nobody attended school for 1 year, and nobody died. Yes. So,
or even during the Civil War in the East.
Yes, of course. What we are facing, like you have always said, it's like we are in war now. And this second wave is deadlier than the first one. People don't know. So everybody should just to keep safe until you get vaccinated. That is the number one priority for everybody. I agree with you. If I can collect your something else.
I will collect it because I'm still on this at the Enjoy Island. I don't want to cross the bridge to come to the mainland.
Okay, they wait for you, shine.
No, I'll collect it this weekend. Thank you. Yeah, that was Kelvin. Kelvin's friend, like I said, he made a nice bookshelf for me. I'll collect it. Okay, Zie Oji, he says that a serious-minded government ought to have captured most of individuals via BVN, driver's license, international passport, vehicle registers, and so on and so forth. Well, it is where we are we should concentrate on now, not what should have been. Also, you heard the story of the club owner who was arrested, and he is on trial now as we speak. His name is, according to the Vanguard, Owede Bruno. Okay, and he was arrested for violating COVID-19 protocols in the state, and the operation was led by the Commissioner of Police himself. Okay, and he raided some clubs at the early hours of last Saturday, among which was Club Victoria. You also know, I don't think people actually remember that there's a federal government curfew in place. There is a federal government curfew in place. And so this club, Owede Bruno is being accused of running his club, and they said over 100 clubbers and strippers, were said to have been arrested at clubs at about 1:30 a.m. They were charged to court, and where a fine of 20,000 each was slammed on them. And urged by the defiance of club owners to close their clubs as directed by state government, Odumosu vowed that owners of the clubs will be arrested alongside clubbers. Of course, but they should be arrested first. And confirming the arrest of 42-year-old Bruno, the Lagos PRO Olumiwa Adejobi said the suspect had been charged to court, adding that the arrest would serve as a deterrent to other defiant club owners. He's been charged before the Abutimeta Magistrates Court today on a 4-count charge. I don't know if you'll be found guilty, but we can easily say now that for running a club at this time, against all protocols, we can accuse this gentleman of running against the tide and welfare of the state. It means because clubs, strippers clubs and whatever are what they call super spreaders, meaning all it takes is for 1 or 2 people to have COVID in that place and it will just spread along the line. We're even talking of schools. Some people believe that they must go to club, they must go and see strippers. Philip, do you know what a stripper is? Huh? You don't? Are you sure? Okay, I will lecture you when we finish. Ruth, do you know what a stripper? You do. Talk to the mic. Say something. You do. How do you think that in this current dispensation, that is what would occupy anybody's mind? The level of indiscipline. Anyway, it's facing a 4th-count charge, and the law will take its course. Right. Let's take 1 or 2 more calls because I have to vacate this place for you and Collins. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Uncle Jimmy. My name is Peter.
Morning, sir.
Thank you very much for all your advice, and I enjoy your program very well.
Thank you, sir.
But the point is this: federal government they are arresting those COVID-19 violators. What about the are they not the ones who ask Nigerians to go and register for NIM? Go to that place as a journalist and see what is happening there. What is the difference between the crowd there and those that gathered at the party? So what are those? Who are the people violating the law? Is it the people leaders that enacted the law, or I don't know. Please, I need clarification on this aspect. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Okay. You said I should go there. Let's go together now. You show me the place. Why would I want to go to where that kind of irresponsibility is taking place? There's nothing to clarify. It really shouldn't be happening. And just as we said about the schools and so on and so forth, I think that the federal government needs to suspend all the activities of the NIN and the SIM, whatever, and to a much better time when we can handle things like this. It's simple logic. There's nothing to be said. There's nothing that I don't expect full-grown, matured adults not to know about these things. Okay? Very quickly before I go, just in case you're thinking of going to the United States, there's a story here. It says that the United States has ordered negative COVID-19 proof for arriving passengers. Okay? So if you want to travel to the United States, you need to get to have proof of a negative COVID-19 test or documentation of having recovered from COVID-19. Okay? From COVID-19. What I suspect very soon, 6 months, 1 year from now, is that before you board any flight, you would show some evidence of vaccination. It happened in the days of yellow fever. It happened in the days of polio. Okay? And I think it jolly well might happen again. All right? The problem is I hope Nigeria is not blacklisted because we have this habit. Now here you can buy COVID results. That's what I've been told. It doesn't surprise me though, but I hear you can buy COVID. So maybe very soon they will say that the following countries, their COVID certificates will not be acknowledged. Then we'll find ourselves where we've always found ourselves, at the wrong side of everything possible in the world. I have just about 2 more minutes to go. Abby? Yes, because you want me to go in 2 more minutes so that you can have enough time for your own program. You see the way it is. Tributes to, like Kelvin said, tributes to the late Ndubisi Kanu, former governor. He died at the age of 77. Okay, Ikoku described him as a fighter for greater Nigeria core values. Buhari described him, says Kanu's patriotic virtues will continue to inspire young people. Gani Adams says that Kanu's death a great loss to the progressives. Amechi says death of a patriot, good seaman. Afenifere says that Kanu's death painful and is a huge loss. Kanu left on indelible footprints, Uwazurike, and Kanu's guidance in the struggle for prosperous Nigeria will be missed. And the story here says that other arrowheads of the Senior Citizens Group, which is currently mourning the exit of Kanu, include Emeka Yoku, Chief Adebanjo, Elder Solomon Asemota, General Ike Nwachukwu, Dr. Kalidika Kalu, Professor Akin Oyebode, Professor Patu Tomi, Commodore Dan Suleiman, and others. Of course, all these were Nadeco people back in the day. Did you ever hear of Nadeco? Nadeco. You don't know who Nadeco are? Lie. Really? You don't know who Nadeco are? You think it's a football team? That's the story for another day. I need to take you. What I will do, I'll give you 30 minutes of history every day, okay? Now I got to exit. Right. So we'll be back again tomorrow. I'm looking forward to, I told you, I met this air conditioning guy. He turned out to be a university student, who decided, because the universities are shut down, let him learn a trade in his neighborhood and is now an AC expert. So I'll bring his story tomorrow. Also, we hope that, what's the name of my friend again? Gani. No, is it Gani? The Vanguard man. I know, he has his own problems, so he's falling asleep. And we also hope that we'll be able to matchmake Muslims and Muslim men tomorrow, as usual, as we do from the Vanguard. And then on Saturday, we're trying to look at the issue of vaccination or that of the social media, depending which one we're able to construct first. I'd like to thank Ruth for being here. Ruth, I'm giving you 1 hour history lecture every day until further notice. You don't know Nadeco?
I don't.
You form my hand. Sorry. Philip, thank you very much. Let's get out of here. And I hope I see you all or be with you all tomorrow. Wear your mask, wash your hands regularly, and be good to your neighbor. Love thy neighbor as thyself. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.